Plants and animals share many of the same types of organelles, but both of us have also organelles that are unique to their needs. So let's go ahead and learn about animal cell first. Okay? Animal cell. Now as you guys can see, it has nucleus in it. Now nucleus is a dense region in the nucleus where ribosomes are assembled. Okay? Now let's look at Endoplasmic Reticulum Er, rough Er and smooth Er, an interconnected network of thin folded membrane that processes and distributes protein. Er that is studded with ribosomes are called rough Er. Er without ribosomes are called smooth Er. Smooth Er is useful to digest drugs and alcohol, and it's used in liver. Now let's move on to vacuole. Now vacuole, an organelle that is used to store materials such as water, food, or enzymes that are needed by the cell. Now Golgi apparatus, a stack of flat membrane enclosed spacing containing enzyme that processes, sorts, and delivers protein. Now mitochondria, a bean-shaped organelle that supplies energy to the cell that has its own ribosomes and DNA. Ribosomes, an organelle that contains enzyme. They also help to recycle the waste that is created by the cells. Vesicle, a small organelle that contains material, keeping them separate from the rest of the cytoplasm and transports material within the cell, are known as vesicle. Now, since we are done with animal cell, let's go ahead and do the plant cell. Okay? Let's move on to plant cell. Now, plant cell also has a nucleus in it, like we already talked about. Now, new thing is central vacuole, a single large fluid sac that usually takes up most of the space inside a cell. Plant cell. It strengthens the cell and helps support the whole plant. Now, mitochondria is what we talked about. It supplies energy. And the new thing is chloroplast. Chloroplast, as we all know, provides energy to the whole plant. Now, what is chloroplast? An organelle composed of numerous membranes that are used to convert solar energy into chemical energy, contains chlorophyll, like we already said. Now, chloroplast help us in the process of photosynthesis. Now, other organelles are the same. Now, the new thing once is that a cell wall. Animal cell does not contain cell wall. Plant cell does. Now, cell wall is a rigid structure that gives protection, support, and shape to the cell. Plants, algae, fungi, and bacteria. Photosynthesis is the process that captures energy from sunlight to make sugar that store chemical energy. Photosynthesis uses sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make 6-carbon simple sugar. Oxygen is released as a waste product. In many photosynthetic organisms, photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast. Now let's go ahead and take a look at chloroplast. So click. Now chloroplast helps us in photosynthetic methods. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look on that. Now photosynthesis is the process. Okay, the first stage is the light independent reaction. Energy is absorbed from sunlight, water molecules are broken down, and oxygen is released. Okay, so as you guys can see on the diagram over here, is the cycloid membrane over here. Now hydrogen is passed by the Tigron membrane. Now energy is absorbed from sunlight. NADPH is produced when electrons are added to NADP+. Okay. Now hydrogen ions are diffused through the protein channel. ADP is changed or converted into ATP when hydrogen ions flow through ATP synthesis. Now, this is the chloroplast, as you guys can see. goes into cyclode, ATP, NADP plus added. Okay. Second stage that we are about to see, seeing right now is Kelvin cycle. Molecules enter the cycle and are added to 5 carbon molecules. 6 carbon molecules are formed later. So as you guys can see, it's split in half, and NADPH is added, which is the energy that we just talked about in previous sections. So here it is. Now energy is added, as you said. Okay, high energy, 3 carbon molecules exit from each 3 carbon molecules, then enter. 5 carbon molecules are reformed by energy from ATP. And split in half, and then it goes away. You guys can see ATP is added again to that, and it reforms it, joins it again, makes it the whole 3 component. After the component is made, these molecules are basically transferred to chloroplast, as you guys can see. Now it's in the chloroplast. Now it's revolving around the stroma, and what stroma is producing is the sugar molecule. As you guys can see, is after the process done, sugar molecule is processed, and this is the structure of plant cell. Cellular respiration releases chemical energy from sugars and other carbon-based molecules to make ATP molecules. Cellular respiration is an aerobic process, which means that it needs oxygen to take place. The aerobic part of cellular respiration takes place in mitochondria. So let's go ahead and click on mitochondria. Here we click on mitochondria, and glycolysis provides the product cellular respiration uses to make ATP molecules, as you guys can see. Now the process of glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm and does not require oxygen. Glycolysis splits glucose into 3 carbon molecules per rate and provides a net gain of 2 molecules of ATP. Okay, now the first stage of cellular respiration in mitochondria is the Kreb cycle. Prokaryote molecules from glycolysis enter the matrix of mitochondria. Each prokaryote molecule is broken down into, and 2 carbon dioxide molecule is released. An energy-carrying molecule, NADPH, is made for later on use, and carbon dioxide is released as a waste. Coenzymes A bonds to 2 carbon molecules. The 2 carbon molecules portion of intermediate molecule is added to 4 carbon molecules. The 6 carbon molecules called citric acid is formed. Coenzyme A is released. Citric acid is broken down. NADH is made for later use, and carbon dioxide is released as a waste. The 5 carbon molecules is broken down. NADH and ATP are made for later use, and carbon dioxide is released as waste. So you guys can see. Now the 4 carbon molecules is rearranged. NADH and FADH2, another energy-carrying molecule, are made for later use. The cycle then continues, producing energy-carrying molecules and carbon dioxide as waste. The 4 carbon molecules is rearranged again. As you guys can see, it's rearranged and it's broken down. As I said, NADH and FADH2 is which is another energy molecule. Okay, so what's happening here is the electron transport chain is the second stage of cellular respiration in the mitochondria. Electrons are removed from NADH and FADH2 and enters the protein chain. So hydrogen ions are transported across the inner membrane. Then what's happening is the hydrogen ions diffuse through the protein channel. ADP is changed into ATP when hydrogen ions is flowed through the ATP synthesis, as you guys can see. Water is formed when oxygen picks up electron and hydrogen ions. The water is released as waste.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video.